WCW World War III, 1996. Boy, that's a lot of letters and a lot of numbers. But I'll tell you what, it's not a lot of. Good. The classic three-ring battle royal with 60 people who have to get thrown over the top rope. It's not the Royal Rumble. It's not the Royal Rumble. It's different. There's 3 rings. There's 2 girls. There's 1 cup. Oh, and Chris Jericho is here. He's fighting with 1 arm. There's a whole... I don't know. There's a lot of stupid stuff happening here. But let's get right into it, baby. Right here on the Apron Bump Podcast.
Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get it started.
Howdy, neighbors. What's shaking? What's crack-a-lackin', gang? Trying some new intros. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's week going? Lovely, lovely day here in Norfolk, Virginia. A little hot. Spent the weekend at the beach down in North Carolina. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you see the world's most splotchy tan on a Filipino man. Some red, orange, yellow, and white. So, it's all the worst things. My scalp is burned. Have you ever burned your scalp? A lot of bald people listen to this show, I understand, so it probably happens to you all the time, but Daddy has some hair on his head. Look, I don't know how long it's gonna last. The hairline's fine, you can see the, look at my scalp, it's red. I have a little cyst right here, I don't know if you can see it, but the cyst is unhappy right now. It's burning like chlamydia, but speaking of chlamydia, speaking of Norfolk, they're often one and the same because World War III from WCW hails from Norfolk, Virginia, as it did in 1995. I don't know do they do this every year? Is this the Norfolk extravaganza every year? Is this the AEW Double or Nothing, like how they always go to Vegas? Is that what World War III? I sure hope not, because look, I've gallivanted on here about how Norfolk just gets shit on when it comes to wrestling pay-per-views. I mean, look, if you're following the timeline on the Apron Bump, all my various timelines, in about a year or so, we'll be talking about Great American Bash 2004, which is often heralded as one of the worst wrestling pay-per-views of all time. I enjoyed it. It was my first ever show, but that was also a Norfolk show. So I don't know what it is. Does wrestling hate us? I mean, in 2004, they gave us Luther Reigns versus Charlie Haas. And here in 1996, they give us Chris Jericho fighting Nick Patrick. That Nick Patrick. The 1, 2. This motherfucker's trying to keep his pin count a secret for whatever reason. Well, he's not reffing on this show, so that's 1+. But he's in a match against Chris Jericho. We got a couple cruiserweight matches that are pretty good. Tag team title triple threat match that I went into this thinking it might be the worst match of the year, but we talked about it, and maybe, I don't know, maybe my guest turned me around on it. Not turned me around, but at least neutered my hatred a bit on it. But we'll see. And hey, if you stick around to the end of the episode, where the hardest promotion battle of 1996 battle continues, you'll see if I dub it the worst match of the year or the best match of the year. You get to see where we compare WWF, WCW, and ECW, where they are at this point in time in 1996 here in November. And we take a look at the in-ring, out-of-ring, the characters, the storylines, all that stuff. And we see what company is currently doing the best, the worst, all of those shenanigans. We'll grade the show as well. This all contributes to a point system that I have devised, which we'll get more into at the end. But we're reaching the end of the year, 1996. Only a few more shows left. So the finale is rapidly approaching. Currently, WWF is in the lead. But we'll get more into that in the specifics when we get there, but stick around to the end for that. 3-ring battle royal, man. 60 people. That's what the show is centered around. And we talked about this, roughly a year and a half ago when we covered the 1995 iteration. It was dog shit then. Spoiler alert, it's dog shit now. And I'm sure in 1997, 1998, I'm sure those are dog shit as well. Why 4 years? They did this 4 times, man. Like, they did it the first time and we're like, you know what? I think that was such a rootin' tootin' success. Let's give her another go. And then this bucket of shit drops on my face, and they're like, oh, that is so delicious. More, give it to me, daddy, is probably what Eric Bischoff said. And I get it. They're trying to hop on the whatever, the hype, the popularity, the suspense, what have you, of the Royal Rumble. They're trying to make their own yearly fucking bukkake orgy, whatever the hell. But just this doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. And we talk about why in the episode. Who's we? Hardest part of the ring? Well, it is me and my guest, Matt Ritter from the Smackin It Raw podcast, from Getting Off, and from Creatia World. Creatia World is the umbrella that houses all of the wrestling talk, all of the horror talk, all of that nerd-ish. Love having Matt Ritter on the show. One of my favorite bald white men from Chicago. Go check out Creatia World and all of their various shows. Live on YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff. And of course, wherever you listen to a podcast. I'll put all of that in the description below. Smackin It Raw, they do their weekly roundup of the weekly happenings of wrestling. They put their own, I guess you could say, tawdry spin on things. I'll just put it this way. If you like the humor of this show, you'll enjoy the humor of Smackin It Raw. Getting Off, they get into a bunch of horror stuff. So Casper, I think mostly Casper they talk about on that show. But they talk about a lot of stuff over there. So go check it out. Go give it a check out. Ski, subscribe, like, twist their nipples, slap them on the face, call their mothers whores. Do all of those things and do the same to me. At Apron Bump on all the social medias. If you're watching on YouTube, why don't you go ahead and give a subscribe to your boy, like, jiggle balls, ring the bell, all that stuff. If you're listening on audio land, why don't you give this podcast a 5-star rating? How about you leave a little review, Ski? Maybe you, I don't know. What else do you do with audio? That's about it, right? You listen to it. It's pretty much all you can do. But yeah. I guess that's about it, right? Hey, put your helmet on. We're about to go to war with our sexuality. WCW World War III, 1996, with myself and Matt from a bunch of shit. Creatia World, Smackin It Raw, Getting Off, Meat Spin. Yeah, that was him. Meat Spin. If you're unfamiliar, give it a search. But yeah, Meat Spin. That was Matt. Fun fact. So. All right, let's get into the episode, huh? How's this? Is this too loud?
No, you're good.
Ah! Is that too loud?
Louder. Scream in my ear, baby.
You know I'm a quiet lover. I make no noise.
You really don't. And I don't either. I actually listen to and watch all my porn on silent anyway, so.
Really?
That's why I think we get along so well. Yeah, no, I turn the volume all the way down.
I think I'd rather do the opposite.
Turn it all the way up?
Like noise and no visual. I think I'd rather have the visual no visual and noise than visual no noise.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's all the maybe my prostate is in my ears.
It could be. See, I grew up in a time where we used magazines and everything like that. It was all visual. So
Right.
for me, that's all I need
You're
is
old
the
as
visual.
fuck.
Yeah. 37 now.
Yeah, you're like 6. How old am I? I'm 31. You're only 6 years. I stopped counting at 30. But man, speaking of old as shit, we got a how old is this? 28 years old? About a 28-year-old show here. Talking about today, World War III from my hometown in Norfolk, Virginia. The Virginia waterfront, as Tony Schiavone astutely puts it. What'd you think of the show, buddy? I know you were itching. I know you're doing your own timeline. You're past this. You thought you were done with it. You reached out to me and you're like, Kyle, I need to get into this show again. I just love it so much. I would love to just relive this whole thing. Give me your thoughts, Matthew.
It really wasn't that bad. This is actually one of the better 1996 pay-per-views.
Really? You think so? I disagree.
For WCW, yeah. Okay, so here's two things that I really hate about WCW. Hulk Hogan,
right,
and the Dungeon of Doom / Kevin Sullivan. We had, for what's going on with you right now in 1996, we had very little Kevin Sullivan.
Sure.
Like he didn't cut any promos, nothing. There was very little Dungeon of Doom. And this is one of the more entertaining stories that Hogan does in his time, even though he's insufferable and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, this is at least kind of interesting.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. I guess we'll walk through it as we walk through the show. But yeah, I feel like they've been on a pretty decent run since Bash at the Beach with Hog Wild, with Fall Brawl, with Halloween Havoc. I thought those were all solid shows. This one, to me, it's one of the weaker. I don't think it's the weakest show. I think pre-Hogan heel turn, there's some awful shit like the first quarter of this year. But man, this is not. I didn't think this was great personally.
Even though Travis loves it, let's be honest, World War III fucking sucks.
It's a stupid fucking gimmick, and I can't believe they did it past the first year.
No, I have one more left. There's one more. 1998 is the last year.
They did it,
and I'm about to record it. We're gonna do this, and then this is what? Yeah, it's June 1st. So whenever you guys drop, spoiler, we recorded on June 1st. This month I will be recording World War III 1998, the very last World War III. Thank fucking God.
So you had to watch 2 of these matches within the course of a month.
Yes, I did. But and I gave Katie shit for this. Like, we're doing this, right? And it's not because I needed to watch World War III again. Don't let Kyle fucking lie to you. I invented something in my head. I invented the Apron Bump Grand Slam Championship. And I said I wanted to be the first. And I actually had your thing pulled up and I was going to look because I feel like Kenny and Charlie may be the only people close to, if haven't already done it. And I need to double check that. However, I wanted to be the first person to do one review of every show that Kyle has to offer. And I made the mistake of telling Katie that, and Katie's like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do it first. And I'm like, no, fuck you. First off, you can't take something I invented. Like, that's not fair. Like, it wasn't really a thing until I said it. Now it's a thing, and now you want it? No, you can't have that. But that's why I'm here to do WCW, because I have to get it, right?
Look, you and Katie will both get it at the same time, I'm sure. I think Charlie just needs WCW, but I'll hold off on that. I need to check on Kenny and what he's done. I don't think he's going to be doing a Progress with me or a Ring of Honor, so I don't think you have to worry about that. So, but yeah, so it'll be a while till we get there, but that's just the long-term storytelling of the Apron Bump. So
it is my goal to be the first ever Apron Bump Grand Slam champion. And I have to suffer through WCW again to do it. But again, maybe it's because I'd already seen it and I wasn't like fully paying attention. But it wasn't bad. There was some good wrestling on this. Dean Malenko is a fucking beast in the ring.
I didn't like that match either.
Really?
I didn't love it. Like, it was maybe the second best of the show.
It's not great. Like, it's not holy shit, you guys need to go watch World War III for the Dean Malenko match. But like, I'm watching Dean Malenko, and for everything that people conceive about him in wrestling and remember him for, like, this is one of the better performances I watched him put on. Like, he was a very skilled in-ring technician, which you don't hear a lot from me. I mostly talk about penis and stuff. So like,
you're more the lady killer Dean Malenko from '99 or whatever. Yeah, that's more your speed. Yeah.
I'm actually more of a fat chick thriller, Mike Awesome.
Right.
But
yeah, he's your stan, or you're his stan. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Well, I guess we'll quit. Well, no fat chicks on this show, I don't think. Shit, you're not. Don't besmirch Sherry.
I wasn't talking about Sherry.
What other ladies are on this show?
Hulk Hogan was on the show.
Yeah, he is a fat chick. You're right. So we might as well just quit smacking the clit hood and get right in there. let's start off the show with a J Crown title match, whatever the fuck that means. I guess the champion is the Ultimate Dragon versus Rey Mysterio. So this is the point where I'm calling him Ultimo. Ultimo Dragon has 8 titles. Are you familiar with all these 8 championship belts?
I was 2 years ago when we covered this. Yeah, no, it's like New Japan and CMLL and
Yeah, there was an NWA one in there, I think.
yeah, it's fucking everything. The cruiserweight titles in there. Like
he's not the WCW Cruiserweight champion. That's the only one.
Not right now. It was. Right. I think eventually he has 9 or 10 at one time once he holds the cruiserweight title, and it's fucking insane.
At what point is there too many belts? Like in your possession? Like if you have like 4 championships, like why are you yearning for more? Like that's got to be heavy carry on, no?
Also, to be fair, I feel like this is why I wasn't very impressed by belt collector Kenny Omega in AEW with his like 3 belts, because I'm like, I saw Ultimo Dragon dress like Barbie and carry 8 motherfucking belts. Like,
yes. Yeah. I mean, he ran out of limbs. He ran out of space to hold his belts. So, but he's I guess putting all of them on the line here. Do I have that right?
Yes. They're all on the line.
So we're fighting for just a burden to carry around, like Jesus. But whatever. So Ultimate Dragon, Rey Mysterio. By the way, it's Ultimate Dragon on Cage Match, and they were calling him Ultimate Dragon throughout the entire show. So I don't know if that's like what they were trying to call him for real, or if they're just getting it wrong.
WCW was Ultimate Dragon as opposed to Ultimo Dragon, which is how we all know him. I wrote down Spider Ray versus Barbie Dragon.
Okay, is that Yu-Gi-Oh?
Barbie Dragon is no, just he was wearing a lot of pink, and Barbie was a popular movie.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, and Spider Ray, because I don't know if you noticed, but he was dressed as
Spider Ray,
which is like he gets a lot of a lot of his outfits get. The Spider-Man outfit did not get a lot of press, you know. Like he's been doing the superhero shit for a while, since at least 1996.
It was a little subtle, I guess. Maybe that's why it doesn't get shouted out that much, but yeah, Ultimate Dragon. This is just a lot of Ultimo Dragon just using his power is way bigger than Rey, so he's throwing out, I mean, power bombs, giant swings, that little torture rack backbreaker he did. One of many tombstones that we'll see on this show.
Which pisses me off.
God, they're just throwing that out willy-nilly.
How do you feel about people doing other people's finishes? Like,
I think if it's a different promotion, I have more of a stomach for it, but the tombstone just looks so devastating. It's like, what can you do that looks like we could do a tiger power bomb or a DDT? Yeah, exactly.
As an Undertaker stan, I don't like watching other people do the tombstone pile driver. Like, I obviously, even though he sucks as a person, Kane was the exception because he was, you know, a relative of the Undertaker. But like Mongo McMichael's doing the fucking tombstone pisses me the fuck off, because like, why? What does that even have to do with like your character?
Well, that was at least his finish, right?
It was his finish, yes, but still, like, Mongo was terrible, and I'm from Chicago, and he was a bear. Like, Mongo was awful.
Well, you're also a bear, but that's a different subject.
Hey, listen, hold on now. The best part of the show was Dusty. I've got Dusty quotes left and right here.
Please.
Dusty on commentary is the best. During this match, he goes, "That was a good resume, a synopsis by you right there."
Yeah. Is that the Rack or Dusty?
Well, that was. I mean, the Rack is Dusty.
He's fluid.
A little bit of sugar in the tank.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, we should also mention, so it's World War III, by the way, the main event, 16-man battle royal. So there's 3 rings set up in like a triangle, I guess, formation. And these guys are wrestling in like the left ring, like if you're looking from the hard camera. But the commentary is set up like along the middle ring. So if you're watching this match, commentary is close to you, but it's like almost in frame. You can like see them, but they're looking the opposite direction. So it's very just funny to like watch. Dusty was like, "Who's that guy in the red jacket? Oh my God." They're fighting right behind commentary, and commentary is just like, I get they have to look at their monitors, but it just was kind of awkward, but it was kind of funny. It played into Dusty's entertainment value, though, I guess.
Oh, Dusty was the best part of the fucking show. Dusty was killing me the entire time.
best. He's the best. I wonder if his son will have any success in wrestling.
No, not really. He's gonna paint himself gold. He's gonna
Right.
do like an OJ Simpson thing, get electrocuted, molest a bunch of people,
Wow.
and then he does have a title match against a Samoan named Joe around WrestleMania.
Right. Right. What a resume. What a life old
Yeah.
Dustin had. I fought who was it on the truck? In the
Yeah,
hay?
that Katie, the thing you made Katie watch that she
Yeah.
absolutely loves to this day, her favorite
Hell
thing ever.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
WCW is to her, and I love it. But yeah, this match feels like it was 90% Ultimate Dragon just doing a bunch of different moves to Rey. But towards the end, Rey did kind of start fighting back, hit some springboard moves, hit a slick looking cartwheel into a Hurricane Rana. Some fun little like roll ups, close calls towards the end, but ultimately Rey goes for the springboard West Coast pop, but Dragon catches him, rebound powerbomb against the ropes in the middle of the ring for the 1-2-3. So Ultimate Dragon maintains his Baker's dozen plus one. Well, that's not Baker's dozen. Baker's half dozen plus one belts.
That's okay. So ultimately, Ultimate Dragon got the win.
That's a lot of fun. Words are
Yes.
really fun sometimes.
Words are fun.
Any other nuggets on that one?
No, I mean, like I said, it's a cruiserweight match. You have Ultimo Dragon, you have Rey Mysterio. It's still an early, young Rey Mysterio. Like you said, Ultimo Dragon dominated the most of the match. Rey had a little bit of comeback. The best of Rey is yet to come through 1996 and in 1997 and on. So like, it's only up from here. He just recently came back from getting darted into the side of a truck, right? Like that wasn't that long.
I mean,
ago.
he's been feuding with Dean. I think Halloween Havoc they may have had a match.
Yeah.
Ray and Dean have had that's like the best stuff from either of them that I've seen so far. So maybe my bar was high on this one, but it was still good. I would still probably say this is my match of the night. I don't know about you.
No, listen, the cruiserweights are the highlight when it comes to the in-ring stuff for WCW. They have been, they always will be. When we get into World War III, I've got a couple notes about some guys that are future stars that kind of stuck around late into the match that were surprising, and you can kind of see like, hey, look at that. But no, these guys, again, Ultimate Dragon, not so much. Like you'll have him around for a while, but like as you get into like the climax of the NWO and when the Wolfpack, and not really a thing. But Rey, his star is only on the rise from here.
By the way, it's crazy because Ultimate, like a boner. Ultimo Dragon's also my other timeline, Ruthless Aggression, and it's crazy how quick he just comes and goes. Like he showed up and then he just forgot about him until WrestleMania, and then he got set on fire and then he left. So
he's a speed fucker. He's looking for his best time.
A speed fucker, the speed fucker Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah,
I like it. That would have gotten him over in the Fed. But speaking of future stars,
my favorite,
Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, upside down, Diamond Cutter upside down as a pussy. So he's out here. He's doing a little interview with Mean Gene backstage. And we're in the midst of him. He's getting recruited by the NWO. But DDP is like, nah, I don't need you. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, I managed you back in the day, but I'm doing my own thing. So he has this very renegade persona, not the other renegade, but he has like his own.
He's still around in 1998, by the way.
Kind of. Physically.
No, just so you know, like he's still there. Not much, but he's still there.
But he's not fighting for the U.S. title anymore.
There's a lot of guys that are very important in your timeline right now, like Joe Gomez and the Renegade, who are just fucking there. They won't be. Don't worry.
Look, they're not doing any harm. They're not doing any harm. They're on the out. They're just on the sidelines. Maybe they'll get squashed by somebody on Nitro. It's fine. That's fine.
Real quick, you guys, your last episode was WWF, right? That dropped, or was it 2 episodes ago?
Yes. Yeah. Survivor Series.
You guys talked about Furnace and LaFon.
Yes.
I have been a Doug Furnace fan for a very long time, and I have seen so much love for Doug Furnace randomly lately, and I'm like, everyone is finally jumping on a bandwagon that I've been on, and I'm so happy. Furnace was the shit. Like, fuck LaFon. Doug Furnace was my
Whoa.
shit.
How dare you? We don't need to besmirch the LaFon here. I mean, Doug Furnace, though.
Well, since we're talking about guys like Joe Go, like, nobody's back in the day that were just around. Like, I just wanted to point out that I love me some Doug Furnace.
All right, we're not going to compare Doug Furnace to Joe Gomez. I mean, that is just apples and onions, brother. Doug Furnace at least has some value to him.
Not as much as Diamond Dallas Page, who the best part about what we're doing here is I was always a fan of DDP, but I got to watch like the full rise, and you are getting to watch the full rise of DDP to becoming the people's champion and everything that he will do and how over he gets and just awesome he is. So he's still got the cigars. Like, he hasn't dropped all of the bullshit gimmicks yet,
Right.
but you're getting there. And no, it's again, Rey Mysterio DDP only uphill from here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up because it's really interesting to watch his rise from the beginning, because I started like in '94 when he was like just having random opening matches. He was like kind of chubby, and he had like the glittery jackets and the diamond doll and the cigars and all that stuff. And he still has some of that, and just mindless feuds with, Evad, Dave Sullivan, and Booty Man and Johnny B. Bad, just nonsense.
Okay, now listen, I was a Booty Man fan, but
that's no surprise.
Okay, so oddly enough, the Diamond Doll, the Booty Babe, Kimberly, if you will, in my fandom of wrestling throughout the years, and you think of all of the women managers and wrestlers that have come through, she is number one on my list, and to this day, still like.
Really, the Booty Babe. The Booty Babe is yours.
Kimberly is my shit, like above all else. And when that doesn't matter. She actually
put a gag on her.
She does. She actually does get better, but
okay.
When you get into the stuff with Randy and DDP, oh dude, that is probably my favorite story that WCW told was Randy and Diamond Dallas Page.
Really?
Yes. So, and you're not far from it. It's right around the fucking corner, and it is great.
Well, I'm eager. I'm an eager beaver for that, because I'm really enjoying watching DDP's rise, because he's like organically getting over. A lot of it maybe due to the Diamond Cutter, which is a super over finishing move. I mean, even I was just watching ECW recently, and like 3 or 4 people did the Diamond Cutter, and even Joey Styles was calling it the Diamond Cutter. So it's sweeping the nation apparently, and all of it, like this promo here. It's kind of like a whatever promo. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but I can see why he would rise above, because he's very competent. He comes off very authentic on the mic, which the people's champion, it kind of intertwines there. So finally getting his chance to shine as a, I guess he's kind of a tweener here. But we're seeing the transition here, and I think it's a neat little ditty here. And spoiler alert, he'll be a major factor, major-ish factor in the World War III Battle Royal. So it's just cool to see his rise gradually, I guess. But
do we have to?
You ready for TV time with the learning tree?
Do we have to? Can we let's just pretend this match did. Literally, the only note I have for this is terrible.
What are we doing, man? Chris Jericho versus Nick Patrick. Yeah, that one. That guy with the shitty pin cadence.
One arm tied behind his back because Nick Patrick is maybe sort of in collusion with the NWO. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's first of all, let's just talk about Nick Patrick's aesthetic here. Do you remember how he was dressed for this match, for this combat?
You mean like the sleeveless shirt?
The sleeveless referee shirt, yes.
Yep, the sleeveless referee shirt, yeah.
He comes out. We got to talk about the entrance attire first, because that's a whole different deal. So he has a neck brace.
Yeah.
Because he's been wearing this neck brace for a goddamn year at this point, feels like.
He got hurt.
He has some sunglasses on inside, always, because he's a heel, remember? So he's wearing sunglasses.
You know what those are from, right?
No, why don't you tell me?
He has it's to hide the black eyes from Hogan's balls smacking him in the face.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Dude, that's some lore that I'm missing, which is why you're here. So I'm glad.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah, no. Nick Patrick sucked off Hulk Hogan so hard he got 2 black eyes.
The eyes. So it's kind of like a what's when it's upside down? The
when she's laying on the bed and
yeah.
he in this case and the head and then
Is that a Caesar salad? There's croutons in there somewhere. Somebody call it if you know. I know it's like that's a hold on. I'm gonna type in crouton sex position and see what pops up. Position. All right. Croutons. Okay. Yeah, that's we're not getting anywhere with this. Well, I'll do some research and we'll edit in post. But yes, so Caesar salad from Hogan to Nick Patrick is why he's wearing the sunglasses. He's got sunglasses, neck brace, comes out in like a boxing robe, you know, like a Rocky whatever the fuck robe. Under this robe, he has, like you said, the cutoff referee shirt. He has like black cargo pants, it seems like, tucked into white wrestling boots and taped fists. Mm-hmm. So a lot going on. It's like if you're playing WWE 2K and you just got to make somebody really quick. Like this is kind of what would pop up, I think. But I'll say this though, Nick Patrick. You know, I mean, the bar was low. My expectations were low, but he kind of seemed like a wrestler in there. You know, maybe the selling was a bit suspect.
Well, they did put over the fact that at one point he did wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, and we should probably, I guess, mention, you kind of touched on it, why we're having this match. Jericho feels he's been screwed by Nick's officiating due to the pro NWO stuff, and Teddy Long's also here, weirdly. Because Teddy Long is also against Nick Patrick. He's had people get screwed by him. So he's kind of aligned with Jericho as a collaborative effort to take down Nick Patrick, I guess. And so Teddy's here with Jericho. Jericho gets his arm tied behind his back to start out the match, of course. But Jericho's still hitting like hip tosses and spin kicks. And he's kind of giving it to him. But then Jericho, when they fight to the outside, Jericho accidentally clotheslines the ring post. And so he has no arms at that point. So Nick Patrick's able to get some offense. A little neck snap. A little Mr. Perfect neck snap in the middle of the ring. Some strikes.
I can't really believe you're giving.
No, we're going to do the analysis.
Okay.
We're going to do
just so you know.
Meltzer. Yeah.
Don't Google upside down throat fuck position. Because I did. And then it actually brought me to Reddit under the subreddit sex. So basically they just said it's face fucking, and or someone said I've heard it called the lie back blowjob.
No, there's definitely like a Caesar salad. There's croutons. I'm telling you, there's something. I'm gonna Caesar salad. It is a Caesar salad. Alabama Caesar salad. That's what it is.
Okay, in Alabama. Why is everything Alabama?
Sexual position where the female is laying with head off edge of the bed. Male stands over to titty fuck her while she tosses his salad. So that's kind of different, actually.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's my miscalculation. I mean, but we don't know. I mean, that could have been. Hogan could have titty fucked Nick Patrick. Who knows?
It's got to be a low bed because, like, she's got to get her head up and under to toss the salad. If you're standing over her, maybe I'm just not that tall.
You could just get on the bed. Like if you're on the bed, right, and you squat down. You have to have really good ankle mobility for that. Well, no, you don't sit on her. Just squat. Okay. Look, I'll send you a diagram later. We'll figure it out.
Please do. Draw it up.
So that being said, Jericho wins.
Oh, we're gonna go back to this. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
tried. Guys, I tried so hard to derail this, but he really wants to analyze Jericho versus Nick Patrick. So here we go.
My favorite dude, Patrick gets every time he gets hit with anything, it's arms in the air, just fucking cartoon character. This was fantastic stuff, I thought.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Terrible.
Okay, next up, we got Mean Gene on the stage with Ric Flair. Ric Flair's here. His shoulder's injured, but he's still here. He's still Ric Flair. Yada, yada, yada. Woo, woo. Taking down the NWO. Horseman does the strut. It was whatever. It was fun. You know, give Ric Flair. He's almost a hometown guy. So everybody in Norfolk loves good old Richard Fleer. So yeah, he's here.
Is it Norfolk because you sleep with your folk, your
Yes.
family?
Yeah. We Norfolk them.
Okay, you Norfolk the folk. Okay.
Yeah. It's, by the way, it's Norfolk. It's not Norfolk. It's not Norfolk. It's Norfolk. Okay.
You just said that twice, exactly the same.
So we got Jeff Jarrett versus.
It's not Norfolk.
Giant.
It's Norfolk. Gotcha.
Nope. That you see, you fucking Midwesterns don't understand. But maybe Jeff Jarrett understands. Maybe the Giant understands. But
do you understand what happened here?
Well, why don't you run it down for me?
Do you understand why Sting did what Sting did?
Because he knows that in 10 years that they're going to face each other in TNA for the NWA title, and he's just trying to get the jump on him.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
This is actually kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it when we were going through it. So basically, for those of you who are unaware, Jeff Jarrett has been running his mouth about Sting, and where the whole thing is Sting part of the NWO or is he Sting yet? Like, we haven't got to the part where he's like, fuck the NWO, and he's beating the NWO up with baseball bats and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Everyone, even his best friend Lex Luger, who could not be trusted about 2 or 3 months ago when they were tag team partners. Nobody knows where Sting lies or if they can trust Sting. Is he WCW? Is he NWO? And Jeff Jarrett's been running his fucking mouth. And Sting does this thing where basically he's not NWO or WCW. He's just fucking Sting. And if you talk shit about Sting, Sting will fuck you up. He doesn't care where your loyalties lie. So Jeff Jarrett wouldn't shut the fuck up about Sting betraying WCW and where his loyalty lies. So Sting went down there and fucked up Jeff Jarrett. And he's going to continue to do so. Like, if you talk shit, you get hit by Sting. It's fantastic.
So he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Just want to translate it into 2018 or whatever.
Two-tone painted.
Exactly. So, yeah, this match is really just a backdrop for the Sting shenanigans, like you said. Jarrett, like you mentioned, talking shit about Sting. So it pans while this match is happening. Sting is in the rafters, walking the catwalk. Eventually, makes his way down, walks down through the crowd into the ring. Scorpion death drop to Jeff Jarrett, which leads, like you mentioned, the context of, at this point, we don't know if he's NWO or not. We see him in black and white, so the implication is that he is with the NWO. Also, that he's helping Giant win this match, but has nothing to do with that. He's just fucking Jeff Jarrett because Jarrett mouth fucked him, essentially. So, yeah.
I've also realized there is not an era of Jeff Jarrett that I enjoy. Like, never once.
Yeah. I don't mind New Generation Jarrett with My Baby Tonight Jarrett.
No.
He was starting to get good and then he left, I think maybe is the thing. TNA Jeff Jarrett, I like.
I guess I don't hate Slapnuts Jeff Jarrett. Don't piss me off Jeff Jarrett. The guitar shot Jeff Jarrett, I guess I'm kind of cool with. Late WCW or when he gets beat by China, I enjoy watching him lose to China for the IC title. But we're just gonna go. This is around the time because this is where Flair has given Jeff Jarrett his endorsement. And they're both strutting each other off in the ring. Right before Jeff Jarrett steals Mongo's wife in real life and takes her to WWF, where then Stone Cold steals her from Jeff Jarrett so that he can go on to steal Kurt Angle's wife in TNA.
Wow. Yeah. And the Horsemen and Wives. Really sketchy situation.
WCW is all about fucking other people's wives. Like, that is everybody's story is, I fucked Elizabeth, I fucked woman, I fucked this person. And it's never by their husbands. It's always by some other guy.
Yeah. Mostly
Ric Flair. And Hulk Hogan says he does, but we know he doesn't.
Look, the 90s, that's all you needed. You fucked my wife, so I'm going to hit you. That's like that South Park episode. That's what this is. But yeah,
so
Giant ends up
winning.
winning.
My job, it's you fucked my wife.
You fucked my wife. But Giant's wife didn't get fucked here. He fucked Jeff Jarrett with a choke slam, gets the win, yada, yada, yada. But the real story is Sting, and where does his allegiance lie? Well, you're going to have to tune in on Nitro, pal, I guess is the thinking there. But boy, howdy. We got... See, we thought we'd have no Hogan on this show. But, boy, we were wrong. So Roddy Piper comes out. Rowdy Roddy Piper, if you're unfamiliar. So we're building to the match of the century. Roddy Piper versus Hulk Hogan. Roddy Piper being the only guy Hulk Hogan has never beaten. This is the biggest match that's ever happened in wrestling.
Except for the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah,
except for like almost every other match that's happened.
Yeah.
Joe Gomez versus Renegade, I think I'd rather see. That's not true. But I don't know. You see, you're a bit older than I am. Maybe you lived through this with more conscience. At the time, was this a very sought after match by the fans?
Yeah. Again, so they ignore the fact that Ultimate Warrior exists until we get to 1998, where then they also say that Ultimate Warrior is the only person that has ever beaten Hulk Hogan that Hogan hasn't beaten.
Right.
Anyway, this is just a running theme. Hogan goes and finds someone he feuded with the WWF and says, I beat Hogan and he never beat me. And then they feud because that's all he has, because Hogan sucks. His chair shots are the worst chair shots I've ever fucking seen in my life, except for one that he lands on his fucking nephew and splits his dome open, but that's neither here nor there. Like the one good chair shot, family. But yeah, no, like they had the whole history in the WWF. They brought in Roddy, Ronda's, father, Roddy Piper.
Yep.
And this was a big deal, and this is going to continue to be a big deal. Like this isn't the only match that they're going to have. Roddy will be around until at least 1998. So he comes and goes.
Well, yeah. So I don't know, man. Look, we're doing a contract signing, I guess. Roddy Piper has a contract in his hand and he calls out Hogan, but Hogan does not come out initially. It's actually Ted DiBiase, Vincent, and a newly christened member of the NWO, Eric Bischoff, coming out. So his first foray into being a heel authority figure. Eric Bischoff, to my knowledge, his first ever heel promo here. It's pretty interesting. You can kind of see, like, you can kind of tell that it's one of his first ones, because if you look here and you look at his like Raw GM run, completely different. But
you know what they say: if you can't beat them off, blow them.
That's what they all say, and that's how you live your life. You always tell me that. Roddy Piper calls him a gay flake.
Yeah. Yeah. Roddy's fairly homophobic in most of his,
It was also the time. I mean, everybody.
You're
gay.
It was the time. But a lot of, like, even when Roddy does the Goldust stuff before WrestleMania, which I don't think you're at either.
No, I did.
Oh, you did that?
That was earlier this year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, just a lot of, like, Roddy doesn't like the gays. And then a lot of, like, Hulk Hogan calling Roddy gay because he wears a skirt.
Yeah. I mean, Roddy still, he went through with the stuff with Goldust, unlike a certain Ramon Razor. But
yeah.
So, but I don't know. But so Hogan forces an upskirt. Thoughts?
I don't understand. And to this day, I didn't understand it when we watched it. And I don't understand how getting surgery to fix your bad hip is like, how that means he's
it's stronger than it's ever been at this point.
Right. Like he got surgery to fix it. He's like, look at the scar. I don't mess with gimps. And it's like, he's not. Like he fixed this shit. He's good to go.
Right.
I don't understand why you think having surgery to fix a problem makes you weaker than you were when you were limping around with the fucked up hip. But because they upskirt him and they point and they're like, look, he's got a tiny penis and a scar. And then they hit the scar repeatedly. And it's like, dude, I'm pretty sure he's got like a titanium hip or something. Like, beat it all you want. Like,
right. Like, Yeah, like there's no way that Hogan has better hips than Piper at this point.
No.
All these goddamn leg drops he's dropping, Hogan's hips have got to be shot.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at him move. You can tell that. And yeah, like you said, they hit the NWO eventually gangs up on Piper. Hogan with one of his legendary vicious chair shots to the hip of Piper, which I don't know. Even if you have a bad hip, does getting hit with a chair like I don't know, you're supposed to get knocked
I mean, I'm
out,
sure
like
it
hit
hurts, but
yeah,
I don't.
getting hit with a chair anywhere at any time probably isn't pleasant, but like I don't know, hit him in the head. That's gonna do more damage.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got a scar on his hip, so that's
Yeah, it's a weird layer that I don't think they needed, but maybe they did because maybe that's why Hogan is so confident because maybe allegedly he's not 100%, so maybe that's plays into his chicken shit mentality. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of just nonsense here. Six is out there. He's got a camcorder. Not first time he's used that. Or I guess it's not
the last
there
time
yet.
he's going to use that. Yeah,
Not the last time he's used that. Yeah.
He one night in China he uses it.
Yep. Still have that on my LimeWire. But yeah,
the country. One night he spent. Never mind.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't be talking about anything else.
Big clit on China, but we got that's about it. I think we kind of covered it, right?
Yeah. No. That's yeah. No.
Speaking of big clit, all right. We got the Harlem Heat.
Or Sherry.
I was going with Sister Sherry. Or Colonel Parker.
Have you seen it?
Colonel Parker's clit? No, I have not seen it. Yeah. So the Harlem Heat. This is all just kind of like a foreplay for the eventual Sherry and Parker fight, I think, right?
Yeah, and then have they already dated, or is that still yet to come?
Yeah. So Sherry's a scorned lover. I can't really remember why. Do you remember why? Like, why is Sherry and Parker? Why are they at odds at this point?
Because I'm pretty sure if you haven't gotten this, Colonel Parker is a plantation owner, and I don't think Sherry is happy about his intentions for the tag team that she has.
Okay.
What he wants to do with them, or where he wants to make them go work on his plantation.
Right.
And I think they butt heads over how to treat the Harlem Heat.
And then they scissor about it.
They do. They scissored with their giant clits.
Okay.
And Sherry came out on top.
Good to know. So we have the Harlem Heat versus the amazing French Canadians. Carl Ouellet. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
And Jacques Rougeau with Colonel Robert Parker, who is all of a sudden a Mountie. Not a plantation owner, apparently. He's just a Mountie.
No, he's a Canadian plantation owner, which...
Oh. So, okay. I see. I'm putting together the map in my head.
Yeah.
So this match happened. The only thing notable here is the finish, which, what the fuck? I mean, this is pretty crazy. I'd never seen this before. So, the Quebecers, they got, I don't know, I think it's Stevie Ray's down in the middle of the ring. The Canadians, they set up stairs in front of the corner inside the ring. They set up a table flat on top of the ropes in the corner. And then they put another set of stairs on top of this table. And then one of them gets on top of the top stairs, and the other one helps him up and flips him off, which looked pretty gnarly. Is going for his little front flip splash onto Stevie there. But Stevie gets out of the way. Booker hits the Harlem Hangover, and the Harlem Heat gets the win. Thoughts?
Eye patch and bald spot. Never had a chance of winning this.
Yeah.
Dusty, couple quotes, because Dusty is the only reason to watch this pay-per-view. That's a good-looking redhead right there. I don't know who he was talking about or what distracted him during the match, but there was a redheaded woman that he really enjoyed much more than this match, and I don't blame him. Also, nothing like going to war with a man in tight pants.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about Colonel Parker, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like you said, this was all just kind of a clusterfuck to get to Sherry getting 5 minutes in the ring with Colonel Parker.
And boy, did she give it to him
She
in a
whooped his ass.
dress. In a
Yeah,
dress, no less. Was she wearing heels, maybe? Or maybe she took them off.
probably took him off.
I
I
mean,
wasn't looking at her feet. I've always been curious about what Sherry looks like without the dress on. I'm not gonna lie to you, even here.
I don't blame you. I mean, she'd be down for an Alabama Caesar salad, that's for sure. But yeah, a couple smashes, some lariats, a top rope crossbody from Sherry, and then Parker runs away like the silly Canadian that he is. So
Dusty was more into Sherry whooping Colonel Parker's ass on commentary than he was any other match on this card. He was so excited. Look at it go! Look at it go! Like he was all about it. Like he was screaming and hooting and hollering. World War III happened. 60 men, 3 rings, didn't give 2 fucks.
Yep.
Sherry beating on Colonel Parker was his favorite thing.
match of the night. Match of the night. I'm with him. I'm with him. So yeah. We move on to some Lex Luger, who's looking pretty wet. Cuts a little promo, kind of touches on what you touched on earlier. How Sting on Nitro
Myself.
gave him his bat, gave Sting his bat, or gave Lex his bat,
Oh, yeah.
and then Lex grabbed his bat.
Yep.
And then so Lex is confused about his friend Sting, sexually confused. And he's sad. He's a sad boy Lex. But I guess we'll touch more on him later.
Again, we talked about how, like, if you talk shit, Sting comes for you. Like, don't talk shit about Sting because that's how you get beat up. But also, Sting is testing people. He's like, all right, let's. You want to know if I'm on your side? I want to know if you're on my side. Here, hold my bat. And if you use my bat against me, then we can't be friends. But if you decide not to, maybe we can be all right.
Right. Yeah, it's a good story. It's got layers to it. I'm all about it. Probably the best thing WCW is doing at this point.
It's not saying much.
Yeah, I know, but it is. I'll say the one good thing that they're doing. I don't know. Is Dane Malenko and Psychosis a good thing that they're doing? Because that's the next match for the WCW Cruiserweight title. It was solid. It was just like kind of a slower version of the previous Cruiserweight title match. A lot of Dean being Dean, grounding Psychosis, various submissions, psoriasis. Is that what Dusty called him?
No, that's what Heenan called him, because Heenan is also extremely racist. But I guess I must have stolen my gimmick of misnaming people from Bobby Heenan unknowingly, because I watch him do this and he does it all the time, and I'm like, that must be where I got it from. Where I
So
just
does that make you extremely racist?
No, it does not.
Because it's just good-natured fun when you do it.
Well, because I'm not doing it in a racist way. He tends to. This wasn't, but in general, he does.
Not when the mics are on.
I've heard him call people a Mexican jumping bean. So, like, something I've never done.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about that before I hit record, but we won't get into that.
Listen, when I tell you what happened between me and Vince off air, it needs to stay off air, all right?
Oh, is he your little Mexican jumping bean or whatever he is?
I'm a penis.
Yep. So we got Dino Machino here. And eventually wins with another tombstone. Well, he doesn't win with the tombstone, because why would you? But he hits it in this match. Ends up winning with a roll-up. Pretty tight-looking roll-up. A little clutch with the legs hooked. O'Connor roll kind of deal. I thought it was solid, I guess, is what I would say about this.
I'm telling you, I was watching Dean, and I was really impressed with a lot of the work that he was doing in this match. My question to you is, Psychosis, when he slipped off the top rope, intentional or not? In your opinion?
No, that was not intentional. He's not JT Smith.
Well, because he slipped off the rope, and then Dean did the Samoa Joe thing where he just walked away and let him like fall onto the guardrail.
Right.
So,
yeah, potentially maybe that was planned, but I think it was supposed to be a more graceful looking dive.
I'm with you on that,
because that could have gone really bad if he fell forward on his face, landed on his horns. Would have been a whole mess.
Dean did not seem to give 2 fucks what happened to him at that point. He just, like I said, he did the Samoa Joe. Like, Psychosis jumped and he just walked the other way. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, can't blame him. That was like the Psychosis did like 2 moves in this match, it feels like. And that was supposed to be one of them, but then, I don't know. Whatever. Psychosis will fight back. He'll ride back on in his lawnmower and then everything will be fine. So, That's a thing that happened, by the way, folks. I'm not just saying that to be racist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit, but
Kenny's not here. You can't do racist chaps with me because I'm white.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's too much white here for that.
Too much white. I'm mostly white, so that's a whole
Exactly. That's the problem.
Math ain't mathin'.
You're what, like a 16th Filipino or something like that?
33% last I checked.
Okay.
It changes from month to month based on ancestry. I don't know how it changes, but it does. So maybe it depends the season. I look a little more Filipino now than I do in the winter. A little more dark.
Understandable.
When I think about white guys, I don't know about you, but I think about Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, the Nasty Boys, because they're here in this next match. It is a triangle match for the WCW Tag Team titles. Of course, the champions, the outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall defending against the Nasty Boys and the Faces of Fear, the team of Ming and Barbarian. I think this is in the running for one of the worst matches of the year.
Really?
Dude, this was mindless. There was so many tags. Maybe not the worst match of the year.
Okay.
This was I was watching this match. I was like, can this please be over? Like
I was fairly entertained. So if you're actually looking for like a wrestling match, obviously you're not going to enjoy this. This was just a big brawl that was occasionally interrupted by moments of wrestling. Right. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it. Because like the match starts, right? Before the Faces of Fear even come out, music for the Nasty Boys is still playing. Hall and Nash and the Nasty Boys are going at it. The ref rings the bell to start the match. Faces of Fear haven't even come out. And then, like you said, because it's the triangle match, you have 2 men in the ring, even though there are 6 men, and you can tag in at any point. So guys are tagging in and out.
Every 5 seconds.
Because you don't want the other person to pin and lose your titles or lose your title opportunity. You want to be in the match to be part of the deciding factor. So they're tagging in left and right, but it's a lot of punching, a lot of kicking, a lot of brawling, a lot of everyone in the ring fighting and having to get separated. At one point, I'm pretty sure the ref had his face in someone's crotch in the corner while they were just pounding on each other.
The ref was getting
couldn't
pissed.
get out.
He was throwing a little tantrum.
He was not having a good time.
He's like slapped the quarter pad. It was hilarious.
Brian Knobbs, I think it was beating the shit out of someone, and Dusty was like, "That's a clubber, the greatest clubber in the game, the master of the clubber."
Master Clubber.
That's
Brian Knobbs. Have you seen his butthole?
I have not.
I can send you the picture if you want me to.
No, listen, I'm aware of it. I have avoided it at all costs.
I'll send it to you.
Listen, Brian Knobbs, when
What's
I
your email?
look at Knobbs, he is not, of all of the, like, I think I'd rather see Marcus Bagwell's butthole than I would Brian Knobbs.
I'll tell you this. One of the best male buttholes I've ever seen.
I don't believe that.
It's a little too open, like kind of suspiciously open, but it's clean.
It's not suspicious. He was, one of Hogan's friends. So,
yeah.
Why do you think Booty Man came out the way Booty Man came out with the Hogan? Easy access. That's how they got their job. That's how they stayed employed. Like
the assless chaps, you're saying.
I tried to tell you that Hogan sat here and talked about fucking other guys' wives, and that was his beard. That was his cover up for what he was really doing with his friends to keep them employed.
I see.
Gaping Knobs' asshole and Booty Man in assless pants.
That's the name of the episode. So we're here. I will agree. It was a fun brawl. I think it maybe just went on a little too long.
I also love how at one point Nash and Hall both got tagged in, and they played it off for like 2 seconds, like they were going to wrestle. While commentary is like, "Well, if one of them pinned the other, then they win." And they weren't stupid, and they went for that, and then it got broken up before they could pull.
Right?
Because the finger poke of doom is something that gets a lot of shit, right? But I have maintained that the finger poke of doom is the most NWO-esque thing. It made sense for the NWO. Yeah, nobody wanted to see the Wolfpack and the Black and White come back together, but like for who they are, for everything we've seen in this instance right here, doing that is like the most NWO thing. And it's not necessarily a bad thing in that context. They tried to pin each other here so that they could win and just walk away with their titles. Like, it's what they do.
No, yeah, no, I liked that. I enjoyed that, but I mean, with the NWO element, because the match starts out with the Nasty Boys and the Faces of Fear kind of going at it in the ring. The NWO is on the corner, just staying out of it. Like, oh, okay, that's like what they would do. They're just kind of chilling. Nash is doing like the cigarette pantomime thing. Like, it's fun. I wish they would have committed to that though, because eventually they just became a part of the match and they were getting physical, which
hmm
I guess, but I don't
Where
know.
do you stand on Kevin Nash as a wrestler?
I enjoy Kevin Nash.
Okay.
I am fresh off of watching his Diesel run, which I thought was fun for the
Yeah.
most part, at least like the last half of it. I enjoy Kevin Nash as a wrestler.
I know, like later on, after all, like the knee surgeries and shit, like
Yeah.
mobility wise, he loses it. But I, through this run, especially when you, like I said, when you get to 1998, like I love Kevin Nash. I think he's great. I don't think because I see a lot of people shitting on Kevin Nash as like a wrestler, also later on as like a booker and the decisions he made, this and that. Kevin Nash is
Yeah.
one of the coolest motherfuckers in professional wrestling, hands down, period. He is big, sexy. He is big and he is sexy, and I have a man crush on Kevin Nash and will forever. I've met him in real life. I have a giant picture of me and him right here.
Yeah, you were an extra in one of his movies, right?
Yeah, that never came out, unfortunately. But I got to hang out with him like
Uh,
in real life, and we were both dressed up as vampires. It was really kinky. And he still remembers me. Like I'll see him at Comic Cons, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey." My wife calls him Uncle Kevin. I'm not allowed to tell him that she calls him that, but she does. And he'll ask me, "Oh, yeah, you hear anything about the movie?" I'm like, "No, it never came out, and probably never will." But good to see you,
maybe
Kevin.
one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Kevin Nash, and it's even like later, like I just watched recently his matches with Triple H in '03, and those were actually pretty good, like weirdly.
yeah.
Like,
Short hair, Kevin Nash.
yeah, well, that was right before he cut his hair.
Okay.
Short hair Nash. Even TNA is entertaining. Yeah, I'm a big Nash guy. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
big Nash guy. But yeah. So this match, it's just mindless brawl. It happens, but it feels snug. It feels legit. So that does kind of give it a plus up for me, I guess. But
I grew up in the Attitude Era where most matches were brawls. Like we didn't
yeah.
the caliber of match that you guys get now with your 7-star matches in the Tokyo Dome that fucked up Dave Meltzer's head, and now he can't rank wrestling anymore according to Kenny Omega, which Kenny Omega is actually winning me over with all this shit. But all that stuff, like I didn't grow up on that. Like I grew up on guys matches like this. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, he had moves, but the majority of his match was punching and kicking and slamming people into shit. And it was brawls. Like that's what I grew up. You talk even now, like 1996, you had the Boiler Room Brawl, like the Mankind, Undertaker stuff, all that. It's mostly brawling with some moves and stuff thrown in, and that's kind of what I grew up on. So that's what I enjoy more is just watching guys kick the shit out of each other, and in the process of kicking the shit out of each other, throw a couple slams in here or there.
So a couple slams, maybe a megaphone or two, because
Mm.
old Scotty Hall grabs the megaphone because Jimmy Hart's out there with Faces of Fear. Clocks Knobs in the head with this megaphone. Nash hits the jackknife on Knobs, puts him right onto his gaping butthole, and pins him for the 1-2-3. So the Outsiders win in a, you know what? Maybe I didn't hate this match as I thought I did. But as I was watching this, like, we kind of talk about it? It's like, maybe it wasn't that bad, but I was watching this. I was like, we got it. Enough.
I love that you said that, right? Because if you listen to Return to Wrestling, you hear me bitch about having to watch WCW and Hulk Hogan. But as I'm
Yeah.
sitting here and I'm talking to you about stuff, I'm so excited for you to watch some of the stuff that I really enjoyed that's coming up. Like I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, he's gonna get to this. Oh, that's gonna be great. Oh, fun for him. But like while I was going through it, I was like, this is fucking terrible. And it's mostly because Hulk Hogan was there and there's so much Hulk Hogan that I hated it, and so much Dungeon of Doom that I hated it. But like there's some really fun shit coming up for you. So I'm kind of excited for you.
Yeah. Wrestling's revving up at this point. So it's a pretty hot time. But one thing that I'm not excited about is World War III. The 3-ring, 60-man battle royal. So we could do smash or pass. We could do spit or swallow, and all the guys that are here. I don't know. Maybe we can just list them.
Do you have a list of all 60?
I sure do.
Let's smash or pass.
Okay. DDP.
Smash.
Rick Steiner.
Smash.
Arn Anderson.
Smash.
Jimmy Graffiti.
Pass.
Kevin Sullivan.
Pass.
Alex Wright.
In 1996, pass.
Pez Watley.
Pass.
Ice Train.
Smash. That's
Mongo
Powerhouse
McMichael.
Hobbs before Powerhouse Hobbs.
Dude, he looked astonishing. Like Powerhouse. He had like the fiery singlet. Like, geez.
Dude, I know, right? Mongo McMichaels, pass.
Renegade.
Pass.
Roadblock.
Great pay-per-view, pass.
Carl Ouellette.
Pass.
Big Ron Stud.
I mean, with a name like that, how can you not smash?
Eddie Guerrero.
Smash.
Steven Regal.
Smash.
Booker T.
Smash.
The Giant.
Smash.
Scott Flash Norton.
1996, pass.
M. Wall Street.
I'm going to smash just because that's Bray Wyatt's daddy, all right? Like,
That's fair. Hereditary.
yeah.
Galaxy. Fuck is that?
Pass. We have no idea.
Cyclope.
Cyclops, pass.
Bunkhouse Buck, who apparently is still around.
Pass.
Johnny Grunge.
Pass.
Joe Gomez.
Pass.
Conan.
Smash.
Barbarian.
Pass.
Dean Malenko.
Smash.
Rey Mysterio.
Smash.
Lex Luger.
Smash, surprisingly. Listen, another thing, Lex Luger, I hated for a lot of our watch along. Now, once we get to 1998, I am really kind of getting behind Lex Luger finally.
Yeah.
So
I'm starting to get him and Sid are two guys that when I started this, I was like, could do without
Man.
either. But now both of them, I'm a rock hard and ready to unload for both of them. We're about halfway through, folks. Juventud Guerrera.
smashing the juice.
Scott Hall.
So there has been an ongoing thing. As a character, I love Scott Hall. As a promo, I love Scott Hall. A lot of the story that they tell with Scott Hall, I love. I do not like, you talked about selling, Scott Hall selling, I am not a fan of in any of it.
Really?
They talk about him in ring and how great he is in ring, and I'm watching WCW and I'm like, I am not feeling Scott Hall.
Interesting. I think his offense looks really good. You're selling. You might be right on the selling. I'll take a look at it.
He oversells like a motherfucker, like way. Like
better to oversell than undersell.
It's Rock taking the stunner overselling, but it doesn't work as well. I mean, think about when he took the stunner, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all of his selling. It's like
amazing. Yeah, you're right. Sensational.
I actually almost wore my Scott Hall shirt. I'm going to smash. I have a Scott Hall shirt.
Scotty Riggs.
Pass.
6.
Smash.
Volano 4.
Pass.
Chaos.
Pass. So I don't know if I've ever told you this.
Oh boy.
I
got
didn't
a chaos story.
I kind of, yeah. So back in the day when we had our backyard wrestling thing on my trampoline in my backyard, me, Travis, and some friends had like our own like teenage kids wrestling federation on my trampoline. I had characters that were Rage and Chaos. I was not watching WCW back then.
Really?
I didn't know Rage and Chaos were actual characters. These characters were more like Kane and the Undertaker-esque than what we got here with, High Voltage. But finding out that Rage and Chaos were a real tag team as I went back to watch all this shit, I was like, holy shit. I ripped that off and didn't even know it. My Chaos smash, this Chaos pass.
Man, High Voltage. Can we just talk about High Voltage for a second? My favorite thing about WCW is just watching these this jacked power. What's the power plants? Just a bunch of short-haired, jacked guys in singlets. I mean, it's just him, Jim Powers. I mean, it's my favorite thing. My favorite thing.
There's a few Powers in there. Jim isn't the only one. Just wait.
Can't wait. We got Prince Ikea.
Prince Ikea?
Ikea.
We'll smash. Yeah, we'll smash Ikea.
Tony Rumble. Don't know who that is.
I did not only did I not know who that was, at one point in this match, they're like, oh, Tony Rumble got eliminated. And they all seem very surprised. And I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. His last name is Rumble, and this is your knockoff of the Royal Rumble, and I still don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Let's see. Tony Rumble. Let's see if he has any accolades to him. Take a look at this Tony Rumble guy. It'll load. All right. We got him. Let's see here. He passed in 99, unfortunately. So new to your hopes for a resurgence. Later years. Yeah, it looks like this was pretty much the only thing he did. So, I don't know. We'll do a retrospective sometime on Tony Rumble.
Yeah.
Got Mike Enos.
Mike's penis, pass.
Jeff Jarrett.
Pass.
Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
Smash. Harder than his mom wants to.
Hell yeah, brother. Big Bubba Rogers.
Pass.
Chris Jericho.
Pass. Pass in 96. Pass in 2024. 2023.
A learning tree.
No.
I get it, guys. It's bad. But I'm still going to put it on TV. Cocksucker.
Because CM Punk.
Jacques Rougeau.
That's the eye patch one, I think. I don't know. I you know what? Pass them both. Because you got eye patch and bald spot, and I can't tell the difference.
All
but
right.
I think Rougeau is the eye patch.
Rougeau. I don't think he is. I think he's bald patch.
You think he's bald patch? Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's bald patch.
So Olette is roulette. Olette.
Oulette is PCO, I think. I could be wrong. I think that's what commentary said. They could also be wrong.
Because I just watched like live TNA for the first time in a long time this Thursday, and PCO was there, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Frankenstein's wrestler, and what is he doing out here?" So
guess what the CO stands for?
What?
Carl Ouellette.
Really? What does the P stand for?
He's French. Take one guess.
Pussy.
Yep. Pierre.
Pierre
Carl Ouellette is what it stands for, I guess.
Okay.
The more you know.
That's fucking awful. Really,
you know what else is also?
That. You just ruined that whole gimmick for me.
Never goes away. Hugh Morris.
Smash.
Ultimate Dragon.
Smash.
Stevie Ray.
Smash.
Ruckus.
Pass.
Jim Powers.
Pass.
Jack Boot.
Oh.
Is that the worst wrestling name that's ever existed?
Not only is it like, where did you guys find half? Like, they were like, we need to get 60 guys in this ring. Scour the indies. Every random fucking nobody, get him in here. We need 60.
He had like the military fatigues. I don't know if he was like with Craig Pittman, who's also in here. Craig Pittman.
Yeah. Smash Pittman. Love the Pitbull.
Kevin Nash, probably smash.
Oh, dude, I would smash Kevin Nash 7 days a week. I hope he never hears this.
Oh, I'm sure he's listening. Chris Benoit. Yeah. What you think?
Pass.
Ming.
Smash. I've been talking about this. I actually just created Meng in Diablo 4, and I've been running through. Yeah.
It's fucking random. I guess it's not that random. It's kind of badass.
Well, so I'm sad because me and my buddy John are playing, and there is a barbarian class, and I came up with the idea of making a druid that was Meng, and he looks just like Meng. He turns into a bear. He crushes shit. He's a badass, and I wanted my buddy to make the barbarian so we could be the faces of fear running through Diablo, and he did not.
Damn, that's badass, actually. Mr. JL.
Pass.
Disco Inferno.
Pass.
Bobby Eaton.
Pass.
Squire Dave Taylor.
Pass.
La Parka.
Smash.
Mark Starr.
Pass.
That's not a person. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Pass. I am not. Travis fucking loves him. Travis loves the 2x4 and the ho. Dude, you're at the tape fish shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, pass so fucking hard.
So I always hear that his time in like Mid-South and stuff is really good. One day I'm going to go back because that's all on Peacock too, apparently. I was checking it out. Maybe one day I'll dig into the archives and try to become
a Duggan fan, but
I feel like the best Duggan stuff is when he joins Team Canada and turns his back on USA.
oh, I see. Is that
Yeah.
2000 WCW?
I think so.
So you're saying Jim Duggan's peak was 2000 WCW,
With Lance Storm, yes.
not what was it, 2004, 2005 when he was the tag team champion with Ric Flair? Was that, or was it Piper? I don't know. He was there somewhere. Duggan was in the picture for whatever reason. But that being said, so those are the participants, folks.
Oh, we're done? Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, we could add some more if you want. Theoreticals.
I probably smashed about 20 people, so one ring was worth of people and passed the other 40.
So you're gonna smash a whole wrestling ring full of folks, huh?
One ring, yeah. So I guess we could get rid of the other 2 fucking rings.
What? Just have one ring for a battle royal? That's nonsense.
Also, like you're ripping off the Royal Rumble, right? Like that's the thing.
No, it's different. There's 3 rings. The Royal Rumble only has 1 ring. You're coming off as stupid.
But then, like, everyone just kind of marches out in single file line, and they're supposed to, like, they're all smiling and happy. Hey, look at us! As
You
they're
can't
about
have
to go fight each
individual
other.
entrances for these cocksuckers.
Not for 60 of them, no. Especially not for guys like fucking Jack Boot.
What do you think Jack
Mark
Boot's
Starr.
entrance music is? You can beatbox it if you
Dude,
want.
yeah, give me a second. Let me think of some really stupid song about shoes or something.
Oh, I was thinking like Sergeant Slaughter's, like the.
Oh, because of the army fatigues. I guess that makes more
Yeah.
sense. I was just going off the stupid fucking name.
The new boot
Boots
goofing.
with the fur. Boot Scoop Boogie. Boot Scoop Boogie.
Was that? Yeah, that was out at this point. That's an old song, right?
Yeah, that was out at that point.
Well, I'm glad we figured that out. So
Retrospective on Jack Boot and the Boot Scoop Boogie.
no,
That should be
big
his finish.
jet boot guys here. But the match starts out. So look, it's just a bunch of chaos. Of course, we got 3 commentary teams. We got the 3. What do you think about the 3 screens? How they
I hate
separate it?
It's
so
like
small.
It is. So I talked about this. It's like watching a 3-person StreamYard call, except
Right.
with wrestling rings and tiny little fucking people instead of like what you're seeing now with like a full-fledged Kyle and Matt and whoever the third in our 3-way is.
Right.
Yeah, just imagine tiny little wrestling rings with tiny little people where you can't see what the fuck's going on, but commentary is there to tell you that, what the fuck was it? Who was the first guy where you said his name and I was like, oh yeah, they were real. Rumble, Tony Rumble.
Right.
Where they're real excited that Tony Rumble got fucking eliminated as they figure out what's going on. Also, I hate
Mexicans.
Lee Marshall.
Oh,
No, I love him. I love Mexicans. I love Vince.
sorry. That was a
Don't do that.
miscalculation. You hate Lee Marshall? How dare you?
I cannot stand Lee Marshall. I cannot.
Why?
I did worthless
His voice
on
is great.
commentary. No, his voice is terrible. The fucking weasel jokes every fucking week. Every time he comes to tell us what town we're gonna be in next week, and weasel, like fucking hate Lee Marshall. My favorite part of the whole match was when they knocked him on his ass. I was like, please take him out.
Lee Marshall's got some gumption to him though, because he got back up. He was down and out. He puts the headset back on. He's Mike Enos is eliminated. All right, there's Jack Boot. He's still got.
Are you okay, Lee? No, I'm not okay. I got hit. Where the fuck were you? Like,
because God forbid we have 5 commentators instead of 6.
Right.
Suck me off.
Well, fuck Lee.
Lee Marshall's great. So his mustache,
No, he's not.
everything. He looks like
I can't stand him.
kind of looks like the My Pillow guy, but less racist. So we got we have NWO is in 1 ring. They're all in 1 ring. I don't know how they drew those numbers, but they're just chilling in the corner.
In charge.
So why wouldn't everybody just gang up on the NWO? You know, like they're just avoiding. They got like a force field around them. That like half the ring, nobody's in it, just the NWO, and then you got stupid Bunkhouse Buck and Tom Dick McGillicuddy over there fighting in the corner.
The entire premise is that the NWO are a unified group of people, and WCW cannot get on the same page to save their life to go fight them, even though they have the numbers.
They need a leader, maybe a vigilante of some sort. Maybe a czar, what they call Sting? He wasn't the vigilante in WCW. I think it just called him Sting, I guess.
The Crow.
The Crow. They need to be stung. The NWO needs to be stung. And we're still building up the venom here. So NWO. So I don't know anything because it builds to like when everybody gets into one ring. It's kind of like a WCW versus NWO face off. Anything before that?
Well, Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen just kind of brawl.
Right.
And I don't even think they get in the ring to get eliminated. They're just determined that they're no longer in the match.
Right.
So like that was a thing. Benoit came out face all fucked up from the last where he got jumped in the bathroom. Like George Michael.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like you said, we get down to the last ring and you got Rey, DDP, Eddie Guerrero, Jeff Jarrett, and William Regal, Steven Regal, in there. X-Pac, Giant, Luger, Nash, and Hall. So like big names of the future and the current day. So
I'll tell you one thing that bugged the shit out of me was before we get to that one ring, Eddie Guerrero did an over the top rope plancha onto William Regal, and that did not eliminate him. Fucking,
what?
Because he's a Mexican jumping bean. That's all they do? Just kidding. But
Calm down,
I'm just so yeah, it's like we got a little face off here, but Eddie and DDP still have beef revolving around the Battle Bowl ring. So they face each other instead of everybody ganging it because they had the numbers on the NWO, but they can't, like you said, they couldn't get out of their own way. They need some leadership. And ultimately that leads to their downfall because the Giant takes Rey with one hand, lifts him over his head, throws him like a baseball, which has got to be demasculating. I mean, that's just the fact that they're the same species is crazy. But eventually everybody starts getting tossed and we're down to just Lex Luger and the NWO. So it's Lex versus Giant, Six, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. And Lex starts kicking ass. He's knocking people down left and right. He's sprinting around the ring. He throws Hall out. He throws Six out. He starts to lock in the torture rack onto Giant. Are you going to reenact it? Are you leaving? He's leaving. He's leaving me. There. But it'd be like the opposite. It'd be like if Chucky was doing that to you.
Well, I don't
That's good
have
for him.
anything big enough, Kyle.
You know. You don't have yeah, I guess not. You should have been prepared though. Where's Zoe at?
I can call her down here and have her put me in the torture rack.
Yeah, we'll do that offline. We'll edit and post. I thought you were just tired of this match and we're walking away. But yes.
Part of me was like, I'm just going to go take a piss break, let him talk and come back, but
I don't blame you.
I
don't blame you. But yeah, because Giant...
That's what most of this match was a fucking piss break.
It was like just shit happening until we get to this point. But the finish was pretty hot, like Lex taking out everybody almost. Because ultimately, while he does get Giant on his shoulders, Nash stops it, attacks him from behind. And as Nash and Lex are fighting, the Giant tosses them both out of the ring. And the Giant wins the match and wins a world title match against Hollywood Hulk Hogan, his stablemate. So we'll see what comes of that. But I don't know. What do you think of Giant winning here?
Again, Hogan has to do the same shit, right? Like, Andre's dead, so he feuded with the Giant. They did the whole Halloween Havoc, threw him off a building, blah, blah, blah. We're going back to that. Like, we got Roddy. We got the Giant. Like, we got the same shit. Hogan just keeps going through. And on occasion, someone new, like a Diamond Dallas Page or a Goldberg, will show up to kind of break the monotony of Hogan just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Not to spoil the fact that this is going to cause an issue.
Yeah, I guess. I think it would have been fun if, like, well, not fun, but maybe more. I think it would have played into the story more if it was like Hogan that won. Like if Hogan was in this match and he won, or if even like Eric Bischoff was in this match and he like like it's down to just Eric Bischoff and like the NWO guys, and they all just like jump over and let Eric Bischoff win, just as like a fuck you. But
Yeah.
the giant winning kind of felt anticlimactic. I get we're building the NWO and maybe some animosity between them, but I don't know. I was pretty whelmed by it.
We're not even building animosity at this point in the NW. I mean, one guy here or there, and then you're gonna get some weird shit with like VK Wall Street, and a couple of the other guys where some things happened and they can't really be part of the NWO anymore. But the actual like animosity, we're way far away from it. It has nothing to do with this shit. Like, this is just Hogan's going to need someone imposing to make himself look better against. So we give it to the Giant, and then he can gaslight the Giant for months.
Fun.
Shot. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, that's the treaty that ends the war, huh?
Oh, you're so clever.
That brings this pay-per-view to a close. If you had to grade the show from a scale of S to F, what do you think you'd throw at it?
C+.
Yeah, I think it's C. I think C is fair. It's not. I think, like I said, I think Fall Brawl was better than this. I think even like Halloween Havoc was better than this.
Well, Halloween Havoc's always better. Halloween Havoc's the shit.
Yeah, I would say the worst WCW show this year was Super Brawl '96, which there's Hogan and Giant, which is full circle. But yeah, so it wasn't the worst, wasn't the best, but it's all about the friends you make on the way, I guess, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of negative feelings about 1996, and a lot of that is Dungeon of Doom and Hollywood Hogan, and it was very light on this show, so maybe that's why I was pleasantly surprised when we got to the show, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, we had the Hogan segment, but this wasn't like a really bad one, and the Dungeon of Doom literally just brawled and with the Four Horsemen. So a lot of the stuff that I couldn't stand wasn't prominent on the show, so I was kind of happy about that, because my plan was to not even watch this, to just go back and re-listen to the episode I did and then just make all the same points that I did when I made the episode. And I was like, no.
I could have just taken your audio and spliced it in.
I thought about that, and then I wouldn't even had to show up. But then I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to sit down and watch this and try and have a different perspective for Kyle, because I love Kyle and his giant cock. So why not?
I love you. Well, it's mediocre. But if you like giant cocks, well, you're going to be disappointed, but you could enjoy some wrestling. If you check out Croatia World, you check out Smackin It Raw, Getting Off, I mean, all of it. First of all, Matthew, appreciate you coming on once again in your quest for the Apron Bump Grand Slam. Where can everybody find you and tiddle you and put their finger in your belly button until secretions come out of all of your other orifices?
So we do the wrestling, we do horror podcasts, and then we do nerd news. So if you want everything, you go to creationworld.com. It'll get you links to audio, video, everything that you need, or on all social medias at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA World. If it's just me, if you're like, fuck Travis, fuck Mara, fuck Vince, just I want Matt. At Matt Ritter on Twitter for your wrestling, at Getting Off for your horror. Everywhere else on socials, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, all at Smackin It Raw, which will get you a little bit of both. Like I said, Smackin It Raw is our wrestling podcast. We also do a retro thing for Patreon, where we're a little farther ahead than Kyle, because we only decided to do one instead of all of the shows. So WCW, we just did, as I said, Halloween Havoc 1998. And our next one is World War III 1998, which will be dropping this month. So if you go sub to our Patreon now, you can listen to Halloween Havoc 98 and then get prepped for World War III again 2 years from now. Go check all of that out. Yeah, Kyle, I cannot wait to hear whatever crazy fucking intro where you talk shit about me, because I'm not here.
Talk shit. I don't talk shit about you. It's just only positive things. But I mean, there's no better way to end this than the stylings of our good friend, Jack Boot. Take it away, Brooks and Dunn.
The joint starts jumping every night when the sun goes down.
Right, we don't have to actually listen to that. Brooks and Dunn. So that's
you didn't even get to the boot scoot and boogie part. You just, when the sun goes down.
Can I tell you something? I didn't know that's what Brooks and Dunn was. I hear you reference it about Brooks and Jensen.
Yes, listen, I'm a big boot scoot and boogie fan.
They're coming here in 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go see some
Virginia
Brooks and
Beach.
Dunn. Let's get it.
No bullshit. That's literally where I got Brooks and Dunn for Brooks and Briggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooks is gone
Brooks
now,
King
right?
Boogie.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no. B Cubed is no longer with us.
Damn. Rest in peace, B Cubed. He's not dead, but he might as well be.
His career is.
Once again, thank you to Matthew for joining me on this episode. Appreciate my compatriot. Who's somebody you go to war with? What are they to you? Your comrade. My comrade in this war that was World War III, 1996. Always a good time with Matt. Make sure you go check out Croatia World, wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as YouTube and all of that stuff. Check out the link tree in the bio or the description, whatever you call it. Hey, one thing to do before you get the hell out of here. Let's hit that jingle, Bartholomew.
WCW, ECW, WWF, who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though, it's mostly shit.
Alrighty then. The hardest promotion battle of 1996 continues after WCW World War III. Does that show bring us any of the best, the worst, or just the downright scary of I don't know. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be showing how all these points shake out. If you're listening in audio land, I'll walk you through it as well. But basically here I got a spreadsheet. We got it separated into 4 categories. We got the pay-per-view tier list, which we'll get into here in a second. We got the in-ring quality. We got the quality of the roster and the star power. And then last but not least, we got the quality of the out-of-ring. So that takes into account gimmicks, characters, promos, and storylines. We'll look at the best, the worst, all that stuff. But as of right now, the scoreboard reads WWF is in the lead with 13 points. WCW in second with 5, and ECW with 4. So first things first, we'll explain all the points and whatnot as we go through this. But the first thing we got to do is grade this show from a scale of S to F. S being one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. F being a show that I'd rather recircumcise my penis. I don't even know how that would happen, but that's how bad a show it would be. I don't know if this show is that bad, right? You know, I kind of came into this episode hot. Did not love this show. It's not a good show. I still maintain that it's not a good show, but maybe it wasn't quite as bad as I initially thought. I'm thinking at best a C, right? At best. I'm thinking even D. I'm gonna throw a D at it. Throw some D's on that bitch. Isn't that a song? I don't know. But yeah, it centers around an awful match type. None of the matches there was one cruiserweight match that, in my opinion, was pretty good. The other one was kind of boring. That being Dean and the fuck, I don't even remember who he wrestled. That's how boring it was, and yeah, everything else ranged from bad to so I'm gonna throw a D at it. I don't know if it particularly matter. Oh, I guess it does, because WCW is in second here in terms of the highest average grade for all of their pay-per-views / special events. So WWF maintains the lead in terms of pay-per-view quality. So they maintain those 6 points. So this show was not the best or the worst pay-per-view of the year. Best currently we have WrestleMania 12. Worst we got WCW Super Brawl. So no changes there. WWF holds on to the 2 points for the best pay-per-view. WCW holds on to the -1 point for the worst pay-per-view. In ring, so best overall. So it's just kind of a macro level, high level, like what company is doing in ring the best. Right now, we're tracking WWF, and look, on this show, nothing on this show would sway me otherwise. The cruiserweight division's pretty consistent, but everything else is kind of, man. I mean, we're building to Hogan and Piper, which I am not excited about. I don't know. The tag team division has some okay stuff, but otherwise, like DDP is getting hot. That's cool, but he's not prevalent enough to sway the company in any direction upwards. So WWF holds on to best overall. So they maintain that 4 points. Best match. You're tracking Shawn Michaels versus Diesel at In Your House 7. On this show, is there any like the best match of the card had to have been Ultimate Dragon versus Rey Mysterio. I would not say that this match is better than Shawn and Diesel. So Shawn, Diesel, WWF, they hold on to that 2 points. Worst match of the of the year. We're tracking Ultimate Warrior versus Goldust at In Your House 7 as the worst. So the worst match on this card, World War III. I mean, you could throw it to Jericho and Nick Patrick. I personally didn't think it was that awful. I think the concept of it was bad, but the execution of it I thought was just fine. You know what I mean? A bit silly, but I didn't really hate it. Harlem Heat and Amazing French Canadians was just nonsense, but they had the fun finish, so I'll give it. It at least had that value to it. The World Tag Team Triple Threat match. So I mentioned on this show that I thought this could possibly be the worst of the year. Now the question is it? I'll tell you what. There was at least some entertainment value to this triple threat match. It was like the psychology of it I didn't love. Even though this is early days for triple threat matches in WCW. So they're still kind of figuring out the stipulation, but I mean, it was just mindless. There was nothing happening, and then the match was over. It's not even that there was nothing happening, it's that there was just too much happening to digest anything that was happening. You know? So I think maybe worst of the year is a little bit harsh. Because I'm look, Ultimate Warrior versus Goldust was just an abomination of a segment. So I don't think this WCW takes that over. So I think WWF holds on to the worst of the year still. So they maintain that -1 point. So now we move on to roster and star power. Best overall, we're tracking WCW. Let's think about this for a second. So WCW, they have... The reason that they're in the top spot here is because of the variety, but also the depth, the breadth and the depth. Because up top in the main event, you got the huge names. You got Hogan, you got Macho Man, Flair, Lex Luger, Sting. You know, you got the NWO, you got Nash and Hall. You got Jeff Jarrett's kick come in. You got the tag team division, you got the cruiserweight division. So you got the guys up top, but you also got the cruiserweight workhorses at the bottom. So I think that's a very full roster and a very strong roster. So I think my first thought is that they hold on to this as being the best. ECW, they've gotten pillaged recently. They've gotten a bunch of their top guys taken from them. Your Mick Foley's, your Steve Austin's, your Benoit's, Eddie's, Dean Malenko. Now, they're making good use of who they have left, but I wouldn't put ECW at the top. WWF, there hasn't really been many additions, at least not worthwhile additions. Yeah, you got Terry Gordy coming in, you got Barry Windham coming in, you got Too Cold Scorpio coming in, but these are unfortunately just dud gimmicks. You got like Doug Furnace and LaFawn coming in. Like, there's some cool stuff happening. You got Stone Cold really strengthening his character. You got Bret Hart's back in the mix. We're like getting the beginning stages of the Hart Foundation at this point. Undertaker, man. I'm gonna keep it with WCW here just because I think I think the main event scene, you can kind of compare WWF and WCW, but I think WCW has more depth in the undercard than WWF does, personally. So I think WCW holds on to the best overall roster with 4 points. Wrestler of the year, we are tracking Mankind. slash Mick Foley as the best wrestler of the year. Rey Mysterio is a guy that's always been in the hunt for this. And he did have the match of the night here. And we're coming off of a pretty lukewarm match between Mankind and Undertaker at Survivor Series. So the question here is Mankind or Rey Mysterio. This could be an interesting. Maybe I might even put a poll on this on social media at some point. Rey Mysterio or Mankind. So Mankind obviously has a much stronger character. And he's also had some good matches. We're talking Mind Games against Shawn Michaels. We're talking all the stuff with Undertaker. But that's about it. But we're also taking into account his ECW stuff in the beginning of the year, the first few months. Rey Mysterio has been consistently good, but it's kind of been a one speed kind of thing for me. Like I said, it's Cruiserweight division. It's opening. It's the curtain jerker match. Consistently is match of the night, or at least in contention for match of the night. So that's nothing to sneeze at. My instinct is to keep it Mankind as the best. I think the thing that tips it over to him is the character work along with it. And, he's main evented matches for world titles as well. So the Buried Alive match, I'm gonna keep it at Mankind, but I think this will be a point of contention when we get to the end of this. When we get to the finale of this, that'll be something that I'll have you guys, send in your input or be in the live chat or whatever it is. But I'm gonna keep it Mankind for now. Worst of the year, Ultimate Warrior. So I've said this on the last couple episodes of this, I think, is that, Ultimate Warrior did awful stuff in his time. Like, it was very bad, but it was kind of a short period of time. Whereas you have a guy like, I don't know, Hulk Hogan, who has been a constant fixture throughout the entire year, or most of it at least. And most of it has been pretty bad. Some of it's been good, though. Some of it's been good, and the NWO, and that's all good, so... Again, I think we'll keep it Warrior for now, but that'll be another one that I think could be up for contention. Let me just look through my notes here. Anybody on this card other than Hogan, give him a run. Who's it? Jack Boot? Is Jack Boot the worst of the year? Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, man. Roddy Piper, Giant. No one's really the worst. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at Ultimate Warrior for now. He kind of came and went, but it was a hot flash in the pan. I'll put it that way. So now we move on to the final category, out of ring. So this is talking gimmicks, characters, promos, storylines, what have you. Best overall, we're tracking ECW. And I think that remains. I think WWF is starting to cook a little bit, but I don't know if they're there yet. Because you got Stone Cold and Bret Hart. You got, like I said, the Hart Foundation, which is we haven't really covered on the podcast yet. Maybe after the In Your House 12 episode, we'll get more into that. Undertaker and Mankind's pretty strong. Intercontinental scene's a little weird. ECW, I think we're just going to keep it ECW because of similar to how WCW's roster was very top to bottom. It was very well rounded. ECW is kind of the same. They have a hot story up top with Sandman and Raven, but you also got Tommy Dreamers embedded in there with a little bit with Raven, a little bit with Brian Lee. You got the Eliminators and the Gangsters going at it. You got the Dudley Boy turmoil. Taz and Sabu's kicking out, RVD's in the picture. They got a ton of good stuff happening in ECW. I mean, that's what's holding that promotion up, is the quality of the stories, and especially by far the best promos, I would say, from ECW. So I think they hold on to that for now. So they keep those 4 points. Best character / storyline. We're tracking the NWO. I mean, we're really just basing any changes are going to come from this World War III show. So I guess the question is, was the NWO's performance bad on this show? And I wouldn't say it was necessarily. You got the injection of Eric Bischoff, which is pretty interesting. So I think NWO holds on to this. I'll tell you what, keep an eye on that category though, because when we talk about In Your House 12, there's a certain cold man made of stone that might give the NWO a run for its money, but we'll see. We'll see where we're at. Worst character / storyline, Jerry the King Lawler. Another guy who's kind of become a little less offensively bad in this section of the year. He's kind of out of the limelight a little bit. But I still think the stuff he's done over the course of the year with Isaac Yankem, with Jake Roberts, with the Ultimate Warrior, that's all just been the drizzling shits. And it's just not entertaining at all whenever he's on screen. So anything on this show, give it a run for its money. Again, Hulk Hogan's always there. Nick Patrick. Nick Patrick. What are we thinking? What are we thinking, gang? I think Nick Patrick actually performs well, like on the mic and as a character. Like the character conceptually, I don't love, but his execution of it, I think, is about as good as it could be. And I don't think it really is a huge detriment to this show ultimately. We'll see. Look, he had a match in this show. I don't know if it's a one-off or if he continues to wrestle. If he continues to wrestle, if his spotlight continues to grow on this show, Nick Patrick might be a guy that will fall into this worst of the year. But as of right now, it might just be a quick, silly thing. We'll see. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. But what else? Roddy Piper and Hogan. I mean, I'm inclined to put Roddy Piper there, honestly. He's so annoying on this show. Jack Boot, of course. Yeah, I don't know. Kevin Sullivan, he's kind of faded away a little bit. Like, he's not really in the picture. We're going to keep it Jerry Lawler. So yeah, ultimately no changes here on the scoreboard, but we got a lot of things to think about. We got a lot of things that are on the fence, a lot of loosey-goosey choices here that may or may not change the next time we look at this. But score stays the same. WWF in the lead with 13 points, but 2 more shows left in this year. We got In Your House 12 from the WWF, and we got WCW Starrcade 1996. So, and then we'll have a separate finale episode for this, which I'll give more information when it gets a little closer, and I'll spread it on social media as well. I'm going to allow you guys to kind of give your input. You guys can send in video clips, audio clips. You can just text me stuff through DMs or emails or the Discord. Join the Discord, by the way. I always fucking forget to plug the Discord. That's in the description as well. But yeah, so that'll be a fun time when we get to that. But yeah. With that, I think that's about all Daddy has for you today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys allowing me to stick my tongue down your ear canals and wiggle it around a little bit. So it's always appreciated. Love you. Love you. Have a great rest of your day or evening or even morning. And with that, I think that's about, I already said that's all I have for you. Maybe I should just hit the stop record button, huh? Maybe that's what I should do. I'll go ahead and do that. Love you guys. I'm hard.
Yeah. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it.